Today I'm on my way to Sutton Scarsdale Hall in Derbyshire. It's a very historical site owned by the English Heritage. I do like it up there. So I'm going to be doing some zooming tests on the Action 4, which, by the way, I'll just switch to that at the moment. I'm filming on the Pocket 3, but the Action 4 is on top of the car. I'm going to be doing a time lapse all the way there. So I'll switch to that now and you'll just be able to see. Here we go. And we've landed. So in the background there you can see Sutton Scarsdale Hall in Derbyshire. As I've said, it's a very historical site owned by the English Heritage now. I've had to switch to the wireless mic and put a top on and also a hat. It gets windy up here. It's only beginning of April at the moment, so it's a little bit cold. So as I'm going to be stood still for an hour or so, you've got to keep warm. So I've just had to come round the front of the building. As round the back, the sun's just unfortunately right above me. I'm not only squinting, it's causing me a lot of dark spots in my footage. So the sun's well behind me now. So when it eventually does come out, it's going to light this up better for me, if it does. So now I'm going to start doing some zoom tests on the Action 4. Right, to access the zooming feature, you just click on the video mode there. In the bottom right hand corner you'll see a ×1 icon. Just press and hold that. A scroll wheel appears. Come back. Then you can just slowly zoom into ×2 and back to ×1. So that's 1080/30 complete. I'm going to switch the Action 4 over to 2.7K 30, and to do that just tap the resolution, scroll over to 2.7K and you'll see the 30. Again, hold the bottom ×1 icon, start to scroll. As you can see from the footage, no matter what resolution you're in, it's very steppy. And now we're going to switch over to 4K 30. So to do that, just tap the resolution, scroll across to 4K, 30 frames per second. Again, bottom right, hold that and start zooming in. This should be the best resolution of all three, obviously, but you'll be able to see the clarity for yourself. I'm hoping a future firmware update is going to stop this steppy motion, so you get more of a fluid zoom like you do with the Pocket 3, although that's a joystick. Right, now I've done the zooming tests on the Action 4 at the front of Sutton Hall. I'm now going to get the camera focused in on Bolsover Castle right over there on the hill. It's going to be pretty hard to make out. I know that's exactly 2.2 miles away as the crow flies, as I've measured that on Google. So there's a little bench down here. I'm going to set the tripod up and we'll start zooming in and out, and we'll do it in all three resolutions just like I did at the front of the building, just to see the clarity of it. Here we go. Right, same as before, but now we're going to be zooming in to Bolsover Castle there, which I've just said is just a little over 2 miles away. Let's just see how the zoom does on this one. Here we go. It's a bit of a distance away, but again I just want to show you the clarity of this. It's always good to do tests of close-up subjects like the hall behind me, and then long distance shots, just so you get a good idea of the clarity of these cameras. I'll start zooming in at 2.7K. Again, it's very steppy and jerky, but there's just no way to get this scroll wheel smooth. It looks smooth as you're running your finger up and down here, but you'll see from the footage, it's just very steppy and unusable. And now we're going to switch over to 4K 30, as smooth as you possibly can, which you won't be able to, but you can give it a try for yourself. So that's the zoom testing completed today on the Action 4. I've been zooming in on all three resolutions, 1080, 2.7K and 4K, all in 30 frames per second. The reason I picked Sutton Hall as a subject today is I wanted to get close to a building, so as I zoom in and out through all the resolutions, you'll be able to see if it's usable or not for your workflow. So filming in them 3 resolutions today, you'll be able to see the clarity and the quality, and also you'll be able to see if the zooming function is right for you. As you can see, some parts of that will be grainy the closer you zoom in, especially at 2 times. But it's just not usable in my opinion. Like I've just said before, always film in 4K and then cropping on post if you want to zoom in. I wouldn't bother with the zooming in and out whilst you're filming, because as you'll see from the footage, it's very steppy. I recommend you just put this in on Google, Sutton Scarsdale Hall in Derbyshire. A very historical place. Unfortunately it's fell to ruins now. I think in the early 1900s the roof was completely taken off and it's been just vandalised over the years. All this green space here at the front of Sutton Scarsdale Hall, as you'll see from the Google images, it was a really nice garden with all ornaments, features, fountains, shrubs, trees, bushes, flowers, you name it. It had it all there. The only bit what survives is in these woodlands here. There's like a little path what walks through there. So I'm going to take you inside there to have a little look through. And it's a little bit dark inside there, so it'll be a good low light test for the Pocket 3. So let's get inside there and have a look. Once used by the people who live there. So let's get inside here and have a look. Here we go. See, some of these trees are really old. And this is the original pathway. Last time I come here was about December, and I just turned around as this was just really muddy. It's not too bad now. Would have been lovely to live in them times if you had money. If you were a really poor person, I don't think it'd have been really pleasurable. So sadly that's all what remains of this place. Just a path there cutting through what are the remains of a garden. Also that old church there, I do believe that's even older than Sutton Scarsdale Hall. Do correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I should have done a bit of research. That's a really old church. I think this hall was used in one of the Batman films and they just put CGI over it. You'll have to research that as well. As you can see, the hall's here. I'm just stood in front of it and all this is light from LiDAR. And you can see the remains of the garden, but today it's just grassland. There's quite a bit of restoration work going off here. I've researched this. I think within the next year all the fencing is going to be down like it used to be. I think around 6-7 years ago you used to be able to walk in there, but as the roof's not on there, it's exposed to the elements, so it's starting to crumble and decay, which has made it unsafe. I think there were quite a few accidents in there with some kids coming up here at night time. I used to go in there several years ago. Really nice to get inside and see all the architecture, fireplaces. There's still bits of plaster on in some rooms as well. In fact, I'll get the zoom on there so you can see that bit. So as you can see the plaster there, I'll just zoom in. So you can imagine just coming down here on your horse and cart. Pulling into this place. Pulling in with a horse and cart. What do you call it? Lovely place. Good to see English Heritage pumping some money in restoring it as well. Hopefully it won't be too long till they finish the restoration on this haul, and then I'll come back and do an in-depth video inside of it all for you. So stay tuned, as that'll be an interesting one. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video today, zooming in and out with the Action 4 in all the 3 resolutions. You'll be able to be the judge of that if it's something you want to be using, or whether you just want to purchase it, or if you just like watching these type of videos. So thanks for making it this far in the video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and bye for now.